Reorganization in the college began in 2012-2013 and made transformational changes in student affairs, academic affairs, and supporting foundations. The motivation for the changes was student success. By reconfiguring some of our structures in the one college model, we could ensure that improvements would positively impact students across the college. Faculty could partner more effectively across disciplines, curricular changes could be accelerated, and student academic needs could be better addressed by a division singularly focused on them. The creation of a new foundation, the MC Life Sciences Park Foundation, would enable the college to partner in new ways with private industry and to create new learning opportunities for students. Restructuring the administration of the college's academic units was done to create consistency in the student experience, streamline the process of administration, increase efficiencies, and maximize student progress toward completion.
The academic reorganization has enabled us to change the conversation at the college. We are now talking very intentionally and thoughtfully about student success, and we are making data-informed decisions.
The programs evolved around the needs of specific populations, and therefore students experienced one campus as very different from the other. But with restructure, we have been able to come together to talk about the needs of the students and modify ways in which we offer that common experience.
We are integrating advising into the curriculum, which provides students with a broader understanding of how their classes are connected together in their program.
Student Affairs has also undergone some significant restructuring, moving from a campus-based function to a college-wide division. Creating a sustained commitment to support services is essential to closing the achievement gap. An independent Student Affairs office created just this focus. Now, with its own resources, the Student Affairs leadership was empowered to invest more strategically in programming that supports learning and completion.
We're using our resources in a more focused way. So we are able to optimize resources pointing toward those things that are student services related.
Different units now are really working together across the entire college. Previously, you would work on your campus, really specific to the students on your campus, and now it's as if we are one and truly trying to create a common student experience.
Student Affairs is an area within itself. It has its own areas of roles and responsibilities. Having it separate from academic affairs allows the college to bring more attention to those goals and priorities that are specifically related to supporting students outside of the classroom.
One of the most impactful changes in Student Affairs has been the establishment of a comprehensive developmental advising program.
We are collaborating with academic affairs to train what we're calling program advisors. There's a model that's being created right now where students would start with counseling and advising. They could continue to work with counselors throughout their time at the institution, but at some designated point, they're going to be encouraged to reach out to someone in their program to meet with an expert in their area.
Some results of the Student Affairs reorganization have been the creation of Achieving Collegiate Excellence and Success, or ACES program, and the creation of a college-wide athletics program. Another element of the MC reorganization was the creation of a new foundation, the MC Life Sciences Park at the Germantown campus in 2014. A decision was made to create this entity outside of the existing MC Foundation as an educational rather than philanthropic foundation. This allowed the merging of several components: academics, business, and research, and the formation of the Pinckney Innovation Complex for Science and Technology at Montgomery College, or PIC-MC, which is now managed by the Life Sciences Park Foundation. The work that the college has done over the last 5 years to embrace the One College ethos has been transformational. Substantive changes in our metrics are now possible. Many of the essential conditions for equitable outcomes are either in place or moving towards it. MC continues to craft policies, procedures, and practices in keeping with our values, and in doing so, have created an educational ecosystem which best serves our students.
The role of governance at Montgomery College is to inform, advise, and make recommendations to management. MC's governance has evolved so that their regular meetings, website, and newsletters are reliable, informative tools designed to keep conversations with leadership active and timely. Now, 5 years into this evolution, several valuable processes have been firmly established.
What I have noticed with different constituent groups is that several of the councils provide an opportunity for faculty, staff, students, and administrators to be at the table together.
Without a governance system, it was more of administrators, faculty, and staff making decisions for students. But having a student council, students are actively part of the decision-making process. We are not just on the table, we are part of the deliberations that are going on.
Governance gives people the opportunity to express their opinions and make recommendations about how the institution should function to fulfill its mission. The MC governance system is built on 3 broad council areas: 4 councils representing constituent groups, students, staff, faculty, administrators; 4 councils representing functional areas, services for students, employees, operations, and academics; and 4 councils representing campuses Rockville, Germantown, Tacoma Park, Silver Spring, and WDCE. Each council reports to the College Council. Representatives from each of these groups are elected by their constituencies once a year. Each year, the governance councils address multiple requests for review, feedback, and recommendations. This can result in new initiatives and suggestions for changes in policies, procedures, and college operations.
The shuttle bus significantly improved commute between Rockville and Tacoma Park. Originally it takes like 2 hours, now it takes between 30 and 45 minutes. And so that is one significant thing that the governance system has helped in hearing from students and working on something that students were interested in.
One of the things that we're going to try to do is increase the communication in governance, which is, I think, going to be a big help in bringing a lot of these groups together. Our view is that one college means more than 3 campuses offering the same courses. It means civility. It means civility between all of the actors in all of the campuses.
There's that dialogue and conversation amongst the chairs, and then the chairs can bring that back to their individual councils.
This improved communication dynamic has increased the climate of inclusiveness and equity. The website and the Connections newsletter are 2 more valuable tools of communication. Both are products of the new governance design and the ambitious leadership that has developed within the councils. The future of governance at Montgomery College will continue to be an inclusive and effective system to share knowledge and experience among faculty, staff, administrators, and especially students.
Student Council has been very active the last 2 years, and many proposals have actually made it to the President's office, recommendations coming from the Student Council.
You have to be part of the change. It's one of the things that motivated me to be part of it.
In fact, Dr. Pollard's challenge to governance this year is to spend 50% of their time focused on student success. All these measures and more will ensure open dialogue, informed decisions, and a climate of productive participation.
To be able to be at a meeting and hear from faculty and hear a student perspective and hear a staff perspective and an administrator perspective, and then you're all there together at the table. It's not like people are in silos. You're able to really hear feedback that helps you to understand an issue, helps you to have a broader perspective as an individual, and then also to take that back to your own constituents, whether you're staff, faculty, student, or administrator.
This is giving us an opportunity now, and we hope that everybody will soon see the validity in having it and the effectiveness of using it.
The role of compliance in higher education has grown considerably over the last 20 years. In 2012, Montgomery College was one of the first community colleges in the nation to establish a compliance office and has kept up with the growth of its oversight roles. It now has a staff of 5 and is responsible for oversight, monitoring, and coordination of regulatory compliance. As higher education regulations have ballooned over the last decade and enforcement has become more comprehensive, the work of compliance has become more complex. Failure to comply can result in fines, regulatory sanctions, or the risk of reputational damage.
Well, you've probably seen on the news information about a number of schools that weren't in compliance with various areas, particularly with the federal government. They didn't take any money away from them necessarily, but they cut off their eligibility to continue giving federal financial aid to students. And that basically caused the schools to close. If 90% of your support is coming from federal financial aid for your students and you don't have it anymore, you're not going to be enrolling students.
Currently, the penalties through the Department of Education are a civil penalty. That's a $35,000 fine for any violation of Clery reporting. And that could be each incident. So if there are 2 incidents that aren't reported, that's a $70,000 fine that the institution could face. In addition, there are obviously some secondary penalties in terms of funding.
Compliance is now a field to which institutions of higher education devote significant time and resources. MC has undertaken dozens of processes that have reduced risks in several areas. New standards, policies and procedures better protect minors on campus, ensure that crime is reported quickly, and enable employees to report fraud without fear of retribution. Significant efforts are made in establishing awareness of the rules among employees through education and training.
Education and training are critical to a robust compliance program. Without education and training, our employees and students would not know how to report instances of sexual misconduct and would not know how to seek help when there is an incident on campus. My role in particularly educates both students and employees on their reporting responsibilities.
The college now has working groups for areas of highest compliance risk, such as Title IX and Clery crime reporting. Such groups respond appropriately to any compliance omissions.
Compliance in the Department of Public Safety really centers a lot around the Clery Act. That's the primary legislation that we follow in terms of reporting requirements to the Department of Education. That legislation was passed by Congress in 1990, and it mandates that campus public safety officials, including security or law enforcement on campuses, report all crime incidents, major crimes, and they've enumerated what they are, to the Department of Education annually. Being compliant helps everyone understand, number one, what the roles and responsibilities are. They also know what the resources are. We find that students or victims, particularly of sexual assault crimes that are happening in and around our campuses, don't always know where to go for assistance. And so part of our charge is not just reporting crime statistics, but also providing support, education, awareness. And I think once we get that information out, students feel more comfortable, obviously parents feel more comfortable, and they can make better and more informed decisions about their own personal safety.
Title IX is considered among the highest compliance risk for colleges, according to MC's Office of Compliance Program Report. In August of 2016, there were over 200 institutions of higher education under investigation for Title IX violations nationwide.
Title IX reports both to federal and state entities, and particularly on the federal level. If the college were to be investigated, we would report directly to the U.S. Department of Education, Office of Civil Rights. On the state level, we are mandated by MHEC to do a sexual violence climate survey every other year.
There has been growth in reporting requirements. Specifically in 2013, the Violence Against Women's Act, VAWA, also mandated that we add additional Clery reporting crimes, and those include dating violence, domestic violence, and stalking. And so that's a direct impact of those amendments to legislation, and also the result of what we're seeing on campuses.
While the goal of our institution is 100% compliance, the nature of the field is such that new areas of compliance are always arising. But at the heart of compliance is nurturing an organizational culture in which ethical behavior and integrity are fundamentally rooted in the workplace.
The laws are there because they're not designed to hold anything over our heads. They're in place because it's the right thing to do. And one of the things that we are committed to doing at Montgomery College is ensuring that we are doing the right things.
Facilities are one of the most easily observable elements of a college campus. Buildings, laboratories, libraries, parking lots, and athletic fields make up the spaces where students learn, study, and socialize. Creating spaces that encourage learning and are specially equipped to prepare students for careers is central to the college's facilities activity.
I think first impressions are everything. When somebody walks into a classroom or a laboratory or a common space and says, "Wow, this is amazing," that creates a very powerful and positive connection. And that space instantly becomes a very welcoming and inviting space where people want to gather, they want to interact, and they want to learn.
Technology enables us to bring history to life in a way that we could always do in the past, but now it's much easier. It's much more seamless. It's much more versatile. You can bring up music, you can bring up art, you can bring up sound bites, you can have veterans from wars, hear their voices, and in small snippets that enable students to understand history in a different way.
In our current cycle, we have a $320 million budget for new projects. Designing new facilities depends on several variables.
We collect data from a variety of sources and we analyze that data to justify a project. The types of data we collect are current and projected enrollment of students, current employment and projected employment to meet the needs of those students, and information about our existing facilities.
Additionally, new knowledge about how students learn best and what challenges may be faced by specific populations contribute to the design of facilities.
Students come to MC with many different learning styles, and faculty teach with a variety of instructional tools, so I think it's important for spaces to be able to accommodate those differences.
Student enrollment at the college is the primary driver of the college's facilities master plan. Enrollment is predicted to grow 32% over the 2013 to 2023 period. The construction of the Germantown Bioscience Education Center, which opened in 2014, was a response to growing enrollment in STEM fields. Over the next 10 years, the bioscience industry will need to fill 21,000 jobs in Montgomery County. The Rockville campus also welcomed a new science building in 2011, the Science Center, which was also rooted in local economic development needs. In the years before the building's 2009 groundbreaking, STEM enrollment increased 57% over a decade.
I've noticed that the investment into science and STEM literacy and STEM classrooms has definitely been an improvement in the overall classroom experience for me. I've seen the investment change from my first classes to my last classes experienced here.
In keeping with the one college model, MC is now working to build a math science building on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus. Design funding for the project is currently being sought, and planners hope to begin construction on the building by FY20. The construction of the Health Sciences building was a response to growing workforce demands in areas for which MC now offers specialized programs: diagnostic medical sonography, health information management, radiological and surgical technologies, among others. The renovation of Pavilion 3, completed in 2016, focused on the needs of high-quality humanities education. In order to encourage faculty-student interaction, the building was designed with both classrooms and offices on each floor, giving students easier access to faculty. Consolidating services is a common theme in MC facilities planning. It increases efficiencies and interactions and reduces costs. The newly purchased Central Services Building and the consolidation of student services in the Nunley Student Services Center on the Tacoma Park Silver Spring campus are two examples of consolidation of students, staff, and faculty into single buildings. The Rockville Campus Student Services Building is another facility planned around this strategic design. Scheduled to break ground in May of 2017, the building is configured to provide easy access to the most frequently visited student services functions.
It's about focus.
We don't tend to realize how much of an impact physical location and space has on just our attitude, our willingness to engage, our belief that we can actually engage in learning straight away. Teaching history can seem like it's about something that's very dry, very matter of fact. But in fact, the life and soul of history, especially from my perspective as a social historian, is bringing it to life in the classroom.
Community engagement is a popular concept in higher ed, but especially among community colleges where our mission is integrally tied to the well-being of local people and places. MC's work in this area for 6 years has been extremely fruitful.
The Montgomery College brand has an element that is so unique. It's its element of inclusion. What that would mean, bringing the Montgomery College into the communities. And this becomes part and instrumental part of our community building. And in so doing, we really partner with them to create a more livable communities for the future.
Community engagement efforts have resulted in numerous scholarships from private corporations, foundations, and individual philanthropy. Increasingly, this funding is going towards workforce development classes, which are not funded through financial aid. In fact, in February, the Montgomery College Foundation returned to the national top 10 for philanthropy among community colleges.
This scholarship made my dreams come true. I always want to become a medical assistant. In the past, but in this case, it came true.
That scholarship really helped me because I wanted to finish my classes in ITI, and then the scholarship covered all the fees. It was really easy because I wasn't working.
The creation of 2 community engagement centers has yielded productive and inspiring results. The centers allow the college to engage non-traditional and underserved potential students with offerings such as workforce development classes, college information workshops, and one-on-one advising.
We offer Microsoft Office for the workplace, keyboarding for the workplace, and email and internet for the workplace. We also offer certification and licensing programs like child development and food safety.
In just 2.5 years of operation, the centers have touched thousands of people. Almost 2,000 people have taken a class, a workshop, or had a career counseling session. Participation of students, faculty, and staff in community activities like K to College visits and World of Montgomery Festival helps bring the community onto the campuses and to our state-of-the-art facilities. Initiatives such as the MC Smithsonian Fellowships, Student Service Learning, the Montgomery County Correctional Facility, and President's Community Engagement and Business Roundtables with local leaders also have a positive, relationship-building effect. Finally, the college now better serves the county's evolving linguistic needs. Because 33% of Montgomery County residents are foreign-born, serving all of our neighbors means that we often must use a variety of languages to communicate.
We have an amazing staff. We have French-speaking, Amharic-speaking, Spanish-speaking, and of course English. And we're here to serve the community.
Simply put, the work of the Office of Community Engagement is central to connecting the college's resources with the students who most need them.
Usually the clients come in, they meet with the community engagement specialist, and they enjoy the services so much that they will just talk to their neighbors, talk to their family, their colleagues, their friends, and they will come back to us.
The ACES program began in the fall of 2013 at 10 Montgomery County high schools to mitigate the financial, academic, and cultural variables that can impede progress for students.
You build a relationship as opposed to going to one counselor one time and then having to request another counselor another time. It's like, okay, I have all your information on file and I see you, I know you by name. It's a lot more personal.
ACES students apply for the program in their sophomore year of high school and are assigned a campus-based coach for their junior and senior years. ACES coaches support their students from high school through secondary and post-secondary education and are trained to respond to a number of common challenges faced by students who qualify for the program.
My ACES coach was talking to me about Montgomery College and how they have the Board of Trustees
and the MC Foundation, where you apply to any scholarship and it tells you which one you're eligible for. And once I did that, I realized that my first year I didn't pay like a cent.
The program provides the presence of an attentive adult, knowledgeable about the college's rules and resources, who are specially trained to help students with envisioning a career path and then connecting it to an academic major while keeping them on track in a timely manner.
It made me aware and made me have to manage my time better because, you know, all the applications you have to do and then all the scholarship applications you have to do, and it just allowed me to like manage my time better and also understand what is due, when I have to do it and stuff like that.
ACES coaches help families navigate the process of searching for scholarships and applying for financial aid to pay for college.
I didn't know how to pay for college because I saw how much it was going to be, and it was very expensive for me because I'm paying on myself. And I didn't have that money, but ACES provided me with opportunities to go out there and apply for scholarships.
The coaches also help with test preparation, college applications, and campus visits. The ultimate goal is transfer to a four-year institution, for which students are carefully coached, enrolling purposefully in classes that will transfer successfully. Entering its fifth year in 2017, ACES has attracted increasing growth. With a 91% fall to spring retention rate and a course passing rate of 82%, ACES student GPAs also surpassed that of the average non-ACES student.
Currently I have a 4.0, and I think ACES has a big part to do with that because along with free printing, which is one of the benefits that I like, they helped me, I guess, stay on task because they would always send not only friendly reminders, but through the ACES meetings that we would have, they would always have encouragement. They would always encourage the students to keep pushing harder, to always go for your goals.
None of this would have been possible without the program's attention to the financial hurdles that discourage many from enrolling in college to begin with. The ACES program has a total of 50 graduates currently enrolled at four-year institutions. The next crop of ACES students will each be taking another courageous step toward a college degree.
The challenge of closing the achievement gap is one on which MC focuses energy, time, and resources. One of the steps the college has taken to address this is the creation of the Achieving the Promise Academy. Initiated in the spring of 2016, the program identifies students who need extra academic support and enrolls them in a structured program to provide it. There are 8 enrollment windows for the ATPA throughout the year. Students can be referred by instructors, or they can identify themselves as needing extra support and apply independently through Starfish or directly on the website. Once accepted, students are assigned personal coaches and sign a contract agreeing to attend mandatory meetings with them. The coaches are not tutors or academic advisors. Instead, they act more as guides to resources for the students.
I received an email from ATPA and decided to look into it.
A teacher told me I was going to be contacted by the ATPA, and I met up with a coach and I looked more into it.
The students take what is called a Success Navigator assessment, and it essentially asks the students questions in 4 areas that research has determined to be the building blocks for academic success.
The student assessment was useful for me. Where do I need to focus on?
I get a whole student perspective.
I've got some students that have test anxiety, and they may not tell me this when I first meet them. This assessment really helps to determine whether that is actually a factor.
It seems overwhelming, but then I found everything to be very useful and very natural.
What I try to stress to the students is that I'm going to meet you where you are, and I will make sure that this is not an additional hindrance to you, but serves as a resource when you need it.
I spend 1 hour every week with each student in person, 2 hours or more through texting, emails.
My coach doesn't add any more pressure to me, he just adds the support that I need.
Just by telling me, don't worry, we can make it, always encourage me. And those are the kind of people that I need around me to succeed in my life. Anytime I come around her, I always learn new things, new skills.
She has my syllabus for all my classes,
and we plan out like pretty much what time I'm supposed to study, my free time and everything, and what is really helpful.
We get to know our students and we get to know what their needs are. All the requirements that we have for the students will help them in their classwork.
I have taken the Study Habits program, how to reduce test anxiety. I've also taken how to do research, academic research.
The workshops were great. I went to a study skill workshop where they did a whole overview on how to study, when to study, and where to study.
A learning cohort community is essentially a group of students who share a common academic major, goal, or even attitudes around that major.
When you get together with all the other students and all the other coaches, is very inspiring, and it helps you see that other people are in the same spot that you are in.
I really care about my students, and I know that they know I care about them. I've seen students transition from having a C to an A within the course of 2 or 3 months.
The student's first exam was a D and the second exam was a B, and I just thought, this is what I'm here for.
You know, college is hard. Not only is the material hard, navigating the process is hard. Everybody needs a coach. It's not embarrassing to ask for help. It's a sign of strength.